The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. If too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to handle it. So it's vital to slow the spread of the disease, because that is the way we reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment, so we can protect the NHS's ability to cope and save more lives. You should not be meeting friends. You should not be meeting family members who do not live in your home. We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public, and we'll stop all social events. You must stay at home.
No matter where you go in the world, one thing you can always find is a party. Partying is something that transcends culture, language and generations. Even spring break, an American tradition where college kids get as drunk as possible for 2 weeks straight on a beach, originates back from ancient Greece, when it was a celebration to the god of wine. 2,000 years later, and partying has never left. The hedonistic appeal resonates with us as humans so much that it has survived every cultural change that we've experienced. And this one is no different. Up until very recently, a party may have looked like this, but now, with lockdown being in effect in the UK since March 23rd, and even before that in other countries across the world, and our parties venturing no further than the living room and our laptop, this is what we typically see. People everywhere are replicating the same atmosphere and energy that we're used to in clubs, but just alone in their houses, connecting to their friends, family, and like-minded strangers over the internet. Even when nothing is certain and everyone is living in limbo, we still find solace in connection through the means of partying. Why is it so important to people? Well, despite its widely reported decline in recent years, the nightclub industry in the UK is still worth over 2 billion and employs 80,000. But that's nothing compared to the 21 billion in bars and pubs where nearly 500,000 of us work. It's no secret that it's a big part of many of our lives, and with that industry essentially disappearing overnight, we've seen the immediate rise of e-clubbing. And with the future of pubs and clubs looking uncertain even once lockdown has been lifted, this may become the new normal. Despite these uncertain and dangerous times, we ask the question, has lockdown cancelled the party?
To fully comprehend this posed question, we looked for answers from DJs, event organisers and self-proclaimed party animals. We looked at the statistics present and evaluated just how much life has changed at the hands of the coronavirus.
Covid Room are the self-proclaimed pioneers of e-clubbing. They host regular parties on conferencing platform Zoom and have DJs playing from all across the world. It started off before lockdown in Italy as an idea between friends.
Basically, we got started because I really wanted to throw a party at my place. It was organized for the 13th of March. Then the quarantine started and it was me and my housemate being like pretty disappointed and pissed off. So we were like, hey, why don't we do that online? We started working on it and I asked a few friends that I knew. We created a team, started like testing different platforms, testing different solutions. We got to the point where the best was to use 2 different platforms. You get the audio from Mixler and the video from Zoom. At the beginning was me and a friend of mine wanted to play, like me and my best friend. Then we actually realized it got so big, we weren't ready to such a big audience. So we started like creating a few calls for DJs and stuff. And we got a lot of DJs from Australia involved in the project. And those are the ones basically who played the first time, and then they started like sharing it, and we got a lot of attention from a lot of DJs all around the world. You miss like going to parties and dance and all that stuff. If someone was used to go out and to clubs like, you know, on a regular basis, and then suddenly everything's closed, of course you want to party. And the point is that there's a lot of streaming, a lot of live streams, but they are only one way. That's what we didn't like, and we thought that Zoom was like a more inclusive solution. Because I don't know about how things are gonna develop, but I don't think this summer we're gonna see many festivals around and clubs open. It wouldn't replace any real life clubbing, but maybe it is like a turning point might be, and a lot of people might get inspired and create some hybrid events, which is something we're already like trying to develop. even creating like a sort of a platform for house parties, which is actually something we are gonna launch. It is the same concept. We're still using Mixler and Zoom, but the idea is different. Like maybe someone, if someone throws a house party, they just don't think about using maybe our service or anyone's else service. But now we can, if we tell them like about the idea, people might just think, I don't want to bother changing the music or like thinking about the music. I'm just gonna use like COVID room music, COVID room DJs. That is what is driving me now, like innovation and bringing something new and some fun. Basically, it's like making people have fun.
One of the advantages of internet-based parties was the ability to run a 38-hour rave with help from DJs across different time zones.
That was quite tough. Of course, we needed some rest. Fortunately, we got some help from Australia and from Canada. Didn't just play, but they really wanted to cooperate and contribute to the projects. Apart from sharing and to get people to know COVID room and stuff, they just sort of managed all the DJs from their time zone, so we could actually get some rest. And when I woke up, it was quite weird to see that it was still going. I was like, I went to sleep with like sort of, man, I'm going to sleep and there's the party going on, and I don't know if when I wake up, it's still gonna be there. But it was, yeah, everything went perfectly. We're creating a huge community, and like those people who come at every event, we sort of met new people during the quarantine, which is like really weird, but it is true. From the Europe, we definitely were the first one. But apart from us, a lot of other Zoom parties started appearing. People just want to party. They don't want to stop. It's not something you can stop.
This virtual substitution has encouraged DJs to move their content to online live stream platforms such as Twitch. We had a chat with some Aberdeen-based DJs to see how lockdown had affected their careers.
When you're playing out, you sort of have to like read the audience and play specifically like what seems good. And yeah, you don't even know who's watching, so you just got to play what you like, really. In some ways it's good because you kind of just sort of play what you want to play more than what you think would suit other people.
So why do you think live streaming has become so popular for partying?
Who's serotonin? maybe just for one night, but it's a way like most people, where most people see all their friends, isn't it, and get like the most social contact. So when you can't do it just now, it's a bit of a bummer.
Do you think it's more inclusive or exclusive now in terms of the number of people that can watch and join in?
It's probably more inclusive because people who have pals and like that type of music are still going to listen to it online and stuff. But people who maybe, I don't know, are like have anxiety or something, or just can't really go to a club, for different reasons, would be more inclined to sit and watch from home.
So do you think live streaming sets will be as popular after lockdown's finished?
I don't think so. I think people realise how much this sucks, and will make it'll make it go more the other way, really. It's not very often DJs play like pre-recorded sets and stuff, but it happens. But like people have got a lot of time to practice at the moment, so they probably just be trying new stuff and just want to take it to the pubs more than that, especially in terms of like live sets and stuff, more than just DJ sets. But yeah, I better practice a bit more, because when this comes at the end of all this, everyone's going to be class. I think when it comes back, it'll be like better than ever. There's going to be, before clubs and stuff open, I think there's going to be a lot of like illegal raves, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, so I think that'll be a big thing for a while.
I think Zoom and like these video conferencing things have like really like added to like our lives at the moment, because it's different from just like sending someone a message than like actual video calling.
May Day in Aberdeen is by far the busiest day for bars and clubs. It sees them packed out all day with some queuing for hours to get in. This year, however, things were slightly different, as the party was moved online for the first time ever. Virtual May Day was a full day of live streaming music, with revellers partying from home instead. DJ Home Alone played a set for the event and has been working throughout lockdown to produce content.
I thought like it was a cool idea. I didn't know how many people would actually watch it, because like May Day's an experience. Like, I love May Day. It's my favourite day of the year. I just go about and play as many sets as I can and just have like a really good day. But yeah, I just didn't know if it would translate. I don't know. I just got really lucky. Like, I don't know. I think everything just worked out that day for me. It felt really good. Like, I think it's been great. Like, it's been so good for reaching other audiences. Like, this time round, it's just thinking about things I would quite like, and also things that will connect with people. It's more about how do I stay interested and how do I do things that like I think is cool and want to like continue to kind of keep an audience and also make a new audience out of it. I mean, this is the first time in my life where like every DJ is kind of on a level playing field, and like you made a very good point. It's like people who don't go out and who don't like clubs and things like that, if you can give something to them that makes them kind of believe in your brand a little bit, even if they're not usually into it, like that's amazing. It is a bit of pressure now because like I've done 3 videos this week that have all done really good numbers and now I'm going, how am I supposed to like keep that up? When people are invested in it, like when people go on live streams and they chat to you and you see the same names coming back every time, that's amazing, because that means you're doing something properly and it's good. I do this because I absolutely love doing it. Like, I don't feel like I've worked in 10 weeks. It's not necessarily changed my outlook. Like, when we come back from lockdown, I'm not going to be like on a mic being like, who's got requests? And then, but it's suited this moment right now. The biggest part of it is like a community and having your friends there. Like, and if you can translate that into an online scene, then that's amazing. But it's very, very tough. But like, I'm in a group chat with like 100 DJs across the country, and it's been 10 weeks of them being like, what cables do I need to do this? What do I need to do to get on Twitch? What can I do? Like, it's been great. It's interesting to see so many people step up to the plate. I don't think party exists as a term like it did. What would have been considered a party 3 months ago is now a TV show. I think if you are one of the very fortunate people that you can get like 10,000 people on a live, amazing. Like that, you can have a party with that. But without interaction, even like I notice if the comments don't move fast on a live stream, it doesn't feel like a party. It feels like a bit of a slog because you're trying to keep something going and you're trying to generate something. You need some kind of energy. Like a party kind of thrives on the DJ giving energy and the crowd giving it back. And that still has to exist in the quarantine sphere. It's not the general definition of a party, but it's a party.
Another group hosting parties on Zoom is the Cold Reality Collective. They host creatively themed events that involve all kinds of performers, musicians and artists. They foster a strong sense of community and believe strongly in self-expression, unity and giving.
I've been part of the Burning Man community for 7 or 8 years now, and when Burning Man in the physical realm was canceled this year, I think a lot of people who are part of that community were feeling grief and looking for ways to begin to recreate that. It's interesting, the technology that used to be criticized for pulling people apart, and everybody spends time on their phones and their devices and is not talking with each other. Now we're using it to talk to each other. And human connection is one of the greatest, it's been studied that human connection and community is one of the biggest factors of people living a long, happy, healthy life. And now that we're not able to hug each other as easily or shake hands, we're losing a lot of those events and those experiences that make us human. We're doing the best we can to recreate and hold space for connection. We've had like people who wouldn't normally consider to be part of like the rave or the club culture show up. You know, at the treehouse party, the Tree of Life that we just did recently, we had a room which was the sunrise room. Imagine climbing to the highest part of the tree, the crown, and being able to see higher in the horizon. So we have people in California starting the party at noon, and we have people in the UK beginning the party at 8 p.m. their time. So we've got people in the United States who can go up to that room and show other people in that room the sunset, the mountains, the ocean, where they are. And a little bit later, people from Germany or the UK can climb up early at their morning and begin showing people who are in the place where if they go outside, it's the Milky Way, they can go into this room and be sharing sunrise in Berlin. So magical experiences, and you know, for the first time, you can really feel like you're at a party where everybody from the entire planet can be there. We are interested in not going back to an old world, but creating a new world. I think something that we're doing with our event, has been to take advantage of the medium here, this video conferencing, to do things that we couldn't do in real life. You could come with in a wheelchair, for instance, and have a front row seat with an amazing DJ. Why might this continue virtually after the pandemic sort of has passed and people may be able to come together again? Like, close your eyes for a second. We're looking out the window of a space shuttle, you know? And people all over the world are like laughing their ass off because they understand that all it takes is belief and imagination, and we can all get in a crazy experience like that. So you can't go to the moon and have a party on a moon base in real life. And this allows us to use that imagination and combine it with technology. I really believe that this serves a purpose. I couldn't go to a live concert with my friends that I'm making in the UK, in Germany, in Australia, in all parts of the US. I think that what we'll be able to do is use this technology in the future, even when people are able to come together physically, to broaden our close friend network. So it certainly doesn't completely fulfill all those human needs, or being able to see and be seen, for being able to support others and be supported. I mean, there are ways that the technology is allowing us to come together in ways we couldn't before, but certainly I'm looking forward to the first hug I give somebody. How could you ever take it for granted again?
I think getting involved in online parties and like live streams and stuff is important to stay positive. It stops you from sitting around the house and doing nothing. It makes you feel like you're going a night out, you get ready, do your makeup, just like you normally would. You just do it on Zoom.
If we didn't have the internet, like during this quarantine lockdown, so many people would be absolutely scuppered, because how else are they gonna like reach out to anyone? So I think that's like, it's been pretty like crucial.
With 3 zodiacs so far having celebrated their birthdays during the UK's lockdown, there's been an increase in the need for virtual life to become more of an active celebratory platform. This focus group looks at how they made the most of their quarantine birthday.
For my birthday, it was festival themed because all the festivals were cancelled. So we all dressed up in festival clothes, and it was nice weather, so we were all just sitting drinking in the garden. And I got very drunk with my family.
It was just me and my boyfriend, so I did my makeup to go to Tesco, as you do. I made White Russians, did a massive like quiz with all my friends, like 20 people, and like my boyfriend like decorated the living room with like balloons and stuff, but it was quite chill.
We just like put tunes on and we're having a wee dance, having a boogie, and just like in our pajamas, but it was nice anyway.
I definitely enjoyed it more than I expected. Like that was the best birthday, I think, because I always spend my birthdays just with my family anyway.
It's just the wee things. Like my mum normally makes me a cake and like stuff like that. I couldn't have that.
I know that it was a plan for like ages before lockdown that we were going to go to like my favourite restaurant on my birthday, and then we didn't think that they were going to be able to deliver or anything, but then they did. And then also, because I wanted to make a very specific cocktail, I couldn't find it anywhere. So that's really small things.
I quite like doing my makeup and stuff like that. And like when you've got a big night out to go for you on your birthday and stuff, you're usually like, oh, like you'll fake tan or whatever and like put on your makeup and stuff. So it was quite like, it's not sad, it's like first world problems, like absolute max, but like not having something to get dressed up for because you're kind of like, oh, I might as well just be in my jammies because like I'm just in the house.
It was nice for a year, and it was nice because obviously, as I said, like all my pals were able to like, you know, actually get together, and we've been talking a lot more. But at the same time, I think I really appreciate so much more now being able to go out to a pub and have parties and stuff like that. I think I've learned now how important that is to me, and I don't need to learn it again.
I think the same. Like I definitely want to be able to actually see my friends' faces in person next year.
Yeah, like I don't think I'd like choose to have, but for people that can't make it or you can't be there, I do like the idea of like doing a Zoom quiz or something like that, because before like that wasn't a thing, but like obviously Zoom's been around for ages, so like I think that is a good idea to like if someone can't be there in person to do a little call or something.
But even if you're like out on Zoom or whatever with your pals and you've got like someone sharing their screen, you're doing a pub quiz or you're watching something, when you come off Zoom you're still like on your own. So it's kind of weird. It feels a bit like you feel really connected and then it stops and you feel like really disconnected, like more than you did before.
Because you kind of look up from the computer and you're like, oh, I'm still just in my living room. Like, I need to take the bed out tomorrow. Like.
In an attempt to combat the cancellation of events, companies like J Dormer's Party Peeps have moved their events to multimedia video call platforms like Zoom.
Just because we all have to stay in our homes doesn't mean we can't celebrate birthdays. I'm hosting really fun, interactive and energetic parties online, so you and your children can get together with friends and have some fun.
Looking for toilet roll! Toilet roll is not easy! So initially when coronavirus was announced, parties couldn't happen anymore. And obviously then we just grounded to a halt overnight. Our diary went from being very, very busy to absolutely empty. And it took a few weeks for us to sort of trial out some virtual parties. I don't know what it is, but because I can see every single child all the time. So when you're in a room, some are behind you, some are over in the corner, some are in that corner, and they're all over the place. But with virtual parties, they're all right there and they're all right in front of me and I can see every single one of them. And that means that it's very easy for me to see their body language and when they start to get quite shy. And I'm actually noticing with the virtual parties, I'm winning over the shyest of children quicker. I've had moms contact me afterwards going, wow, she's normally really shy, but she was like really engaged. And I was like, normally really shy? You joking? She was full of it. She loved it. So it's really interesting. I haven't quite figured out why, but I do feel like the virtual parties, it's actually quicker to get them to come out of their shell. I don't really want to stop doing these virtual parties. I absolutely love them. From my point of view, I feel like everyone is really engaged in what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue. I've certainly decided I'm going to continue doing virtual parties for the rest of this year. Noticed a lot of family and friend members joining from around the world. Mm-hmm. You know, if they hired a village hall in the town centre and we had a little party down there, there's no way that Auntie was going to fly from Washington DC to come to that party. But if we do it online, any of their family and friends from around the world can join. And we've done parties in Luxembourg, Jersey, Washington DC. We're doing Australia next week. And it's quite nice to see everybody all across the world come together for 30 minutes to celebrate one child's birthday and to bring a smile to their face. The main worry of the lockdown and the schools being closed for me was my children's mental health. I wasn't worried about them learning algebra. I wasn't worried about them carrying on with their phonics. But right from the word go, me and my wife said, we want to make sure that they stay happy. We want to make sure that they don't lose their childhood, because it doesn't last long. If their birthday falls in lockdown, there's a worry that they're going to miss that one event that only comes around once a year. They'll only turn 5, they'll only turn 6 once. They'll only have their 5th birthday one day out of their entire life. And people want to get away from the scary news and want to try and create some fun memories for their children and for themselves. And I think people are still looking for that escapism, and they're looking for new ways to do it. And virtually is offering a great way for families to create memories and to escape from the scary news that's going on out there.
It's allowing people to stay in contact with each other and giving them that opportunity to stay in contact. But then it's also almost like teasing, because like you're chatting to your friends, you're having a laugh, or you're all getting drunk together on a Zoom call, and it's like reminding you a bit of what you're missing.
I definitely like going out with my mates a lot better than being in lockdown, but you feel a lot safer when you're in lockdown because you don't have the fear of someone spiking your drink or anything like that.
A Freedom of Information request to Police Scotland revealed a rise in 2019 of reports and convictions of people illegally administering a clandestine substance for sexual purposes, with 15 reported cases in Scotland within a 6-month period. In the FOI, Police Scotland stated that it was of noted concern that all forms of sexual crimes are underreported. They ensured that they remain absolutely committed to working closely with partner agencies, especially support and advocacy services, to encourage reports from survivors of rape and sexual assault. With everyone stuck inside, these crimes have been somewhat eradicated. Burning Man's Ben discussed that there is still a need for action to be taken to ensure safety of individuals online.
We are very much about consent. And so, the idea that if somebody wants to dance with you or flirt with you, or like, we're about making sure everybody's rights are respected and that they are aware that they have boundaries that they can set. Just as possible as it is with this medium to encourage people to maybe act a bit irresponsibly when they're at home with nobody necessarily there helping them make good choices. But there are all, if anybody in that situation, I think, is honest with themselves and other people online, they can also find communities of support where people can team up and go partying with an agreement to be sober.
Although there are aspects of isolated partying that make it safer, there's also potential increased risk. It's no secret that we typically drink more than we're supposed to. So much that, in 2017, an average of 22 people per week died in Scotland from deaths wholly related to alcohol. Sales of alcohol were also up 67% just before lockdown went into action, and many are worried that they're drinking more now. When we surveyed people on quarantine nightlife and its potential negatives, some suggested they were worried it would encourage drinking or at least normalise drinking alone. However, there are projects to tackle this. One in particular, Morning Gloryville, has been putting on sober days across the world for 7 years and have continued these online. We spoke to Roxy, who runs operations, about their mission.
Morning Gloryville was started 7 years ago as a rave-olution. So basically we wanted to turn the whole idea, the whole concept of like nightlife on its head. And everybody was starting to ask themselves the same question. Do I have to really drink so much to feel like I can express myself? And we thought, can we not like change? I guess at that point, at that early on stage, it wasn't really the mission and the intention to create a global movement. It was more like we wanted to do something really for ourselves and for our friends. And it took off. So we curated Morning Gloryville as the first early morning sober rave. Why is raving? Why is dancing? Why is connecting? Why is partying so important? It is super important because it is what keeps us connected. I think the key thing here is feeling connected and feeling the oneness. Our events are actually known as massive raves and massive dance parties, and we are actually a big gathering. So when the coronavirus was announced as a global pandemic, we were also thinking, wow, how is this going to reflect to our brand, and how is this going to our events? So we were already putting our like creative hats on and like having a chat about like what we could do, and we could not sort of just bear witness what was happening in the world and stay silent. So we thought, okay, what can we do? And the creative idea came to us, thinking, could we use these sort of most of the time corporate software and technological solutions to curate the experience of Morning Gloryville on a virtual level. And we launched the first event, and we had almost 1,000 people logging in online from all across the globe. Like, we also decided to obviously do something aligned with the landscape of what was going on in the world, and we wanted to raise some funds for the NHS charities together. If anybody is like feeling like, oh, maybe I'm drinking a bit too much, maybe come and check out Morning Gloryville and see if that kind of feeds that connection that we all need. You can also like experience this high that you experience without drugs at a rave, when the whole crowd is dancing together to this enchanting music that the DJ is curating and creating. Magic happens in that moment. That connection, that bonding, that community, that dancing, that music, and the harmony of life comes together to lift us up from feeling stuck. Raving, dancing, connecting, partying is super important for our emotional well-being, mental well-being. I would recommend to, even if they have some sort of like curiosity about this, if they want to feel connected, if they want to feel this tribal energy, and if they want to have fun, like as simple as that, if you want to have a good time, come and check out Morning Gloryville. You will see that you will be nourished on a mind, body, spirit level. There's nothing forced upon you, but proactively and organically, you are inspired to make the decision for healthier alternatives and choices. And you do get inspired by other people that you hang out with. So I've been massively inspired by a lot of my beautiful creative friends that I've made through Morning Gloryville. So it's bringing people together, and that's really important to, I think, stay sane at such times. And now that we have seen that this is eliminating all the barriers of accessibility and all the barriers of physical location, we see this as a must. We will continue to run online events for sure, and we will continue to invest more and more into the technology, the best yoga classes with the best facilitators, world famous DJs, anything else that is basically going to nourish people's mind, body and spirit on all levels and facilitate the connection, facilitate the community. We will always continue to run these online events, even when the lockdown sort of eases and the risk from the virus hopefully disappears from our lives.
No, I did not think quarantine stopped the party. Smash on, boys, let's go!
I think it's postponed the party, because after this we're going to go very hard.
Quarantine has not stopped the party. Nothing will ever stop the party.
Oh yeah, clubs aren't open, like festivals and stuff kind of has, but then like you can't cancel Spirit.
From Zoom quizzes to in-house celebrations, the people of the world have made it abundantly clear: nothing will cancel the party.